My name's Dorian Heaton. I was born in American Fork. Learned crochet and knit first in primary, and then my aunt, my mother's sister, taught me more about crocheting, and my mother knit. And so I knew a little bit about those and enjoyed the handwork. My mother was a beautiful seamstress, and I have 4 sisters, and they all sew really well, but I don't sew. Makes me very agitated. But I like the handwork. And after I married Larry, his cousin, she was handicapped, but she did beautiful tatting. And at a family reunion, we went and got all the supplies at a little store, and she showed me how to tat. And from there, Maureen Humphrey showed me how to knit. I wished I would have learned more from her before she passed away, but that was all fun. So I enjoy doing the handiworks. I ended up taking a class for netting up at Heinzelman's in Provo, which is a really fun experience. And that's kind of just where I am. Just a series of knots, and you use, so your shuttle is just and there's metal shuttles I've got. Anyway, you just wind your thread around it, and to do rings and other things, you can tie a ball to it, and then it expands what you can do with it. Finer thread. This is knit crocheting. This is probably a 30 weight. Well, that's a 15. That's a heavier one. But so I've tried to do Christmas ornaments. I've been doing it for probably 20 years, but I haven't gone very far with it. A lot of things are just play around, and that's just a series of loops over your, it's called chains and rings, so that's a ring in the middle and then just chains on the outside. Picots connect them together, and then your just designs are worked from there. She kind of passed it on to me. I don't know if you can.
So these are flowers.
These are flowers. We did a project in a Relief Society a long time ago, and I tried teaching this, and I thought it would be easy. Turned out to be a little more complicated than, it's hard to get the hang of it, and I was able to get the hang of it. So, and then you put the center in, and that was just loops and whirls.
Then you got it on stems there, huh?
Yeah, those we finished. These we haven't.
Not seen,
but that's quite a detailed.
I've not seen tatting like that before. Huh.
So, but you can tell it's tatting because as you look at it close, it's the little knots on it. If you goof, you either cut it out. Trying to undo the knots once you've made them is really, it does not unravel. It will wear out, but when the thread, like underneath all this, you work under a base thread, and so if it breaks, or the knots can fall off the thread. So took a lot of work to do this. Like I say, I don't know who did it. I just was the lucky one that got it when my mom passed away. I didn't know that if my grandmother did anything like this. Okay. 6 already. Got to see what I did from before. I think that was 6 and a picot, so. See, I've twisted that just a little.
When it's twisted, can you work it into straightening
yeah,
it out?
usually you can. Have to work with it a minute. And
so what's getting twisted? The knots on top of the carry?
Well, as you work, the thread twists, and then that puts an extra twist in the thread as you're working it. And so the knots are tight enough that they don't twist, but the picots will. That twist in the thread will. So I guess, you know, the thread, I go, and it's always under first and then over, because that leaves that nice line on the top.
Keeps it even.
Mm-hmm.
If you kept doing it on over, it would start spiraling, wouldn't it?
Right, like macrame. Just those knots will. And I've seen things with that in. I tried to teach my sister how to do this, and we gave up. And she started doing needle tatting, which is a whole lot easier because you do it over a needle and then pull that base thread through. It's a special needle that has a very narrow eye. 4, 5, this is 6. And then we're going to close it. So I'm just going to pinch it and pull that working thread. Make sure I don't catch that one. Between the two, a little one, and I'd probably go with another little one and then another bridge. But that's tatting. And I've got some Christmas decorations in, or Christmas stuff, but I'm not going to pull that out. So these are just a couple of little things we were experimenting with.
Tell me the process of tatting. Is it just a series of knots?
Just a series of knots. And you use, so your shuttle is just a, and there's metal shuttles I've got. Anyway, you just wind your thread around it, and other things, you can tie a ball to it, and then it expands what you can do with it. I don't know, this looks like part of that.
So do you use knit crocheting weight mostly for what you do?
15, that's a heavier one. But so I've tried to do Christmas ornaments, and anyway, I have been doing it for probably 20 years, but I haven't gone very far. That's just a series of loops over your, it's called chains and rings, so that's a ring in the middle and then just chains on the outside. Picots connect them together. Variegated colors are easier to learn on just because you're popping the knot from one string to the other. So like you've got your working string and it's just held in a circle in your hand. And the knot is well, it's a lot like tying a quilt. You go under and then you go over. And I'm popping that knot, transferring it to, I don't even know how to explain that. I'll try and so it's just a series. I don't know how well you can see that. It's a lark head knot. Like if you're doing a hitch, I guess. Is that a lark's head? So one is an overhand, one is an underhand. And you just tighten them down. And you know you're doing it right if you can slide the thread. If you don't flip that knot, it locks it on the wrong thread. So
are you talking about the base thread?
Yeah. So what I'm doing is, this is my working, and I don't know if you saw that. You flip that knot onto the other one. Right there. Don't even know how to describe it. So right now, and that's the whole thing of tatting. It's that two-step knot, a picot that you use to join. When you pull it down, you just leave a loop there, and then the second knot tightens it up. So that loop is a permanent part of my work. So if I do, like this is a pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4 picot, I'll do another, well, and so your picot, you end up with a knot. So that's the first one of the next series of 4. I'm going to try and do it slower so you can see how that knot flips. 2, 3. 4, and we're going to do a little larger picot. Trying to do that slow enough and I forget. Then I'm going to do another picot and we'll close this ring. So I'm trying to make that the same size as the first one. So what you've got is a series of better.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Okay, let me do 3 more picots and we'll close this ring. Okay. Then you close it, you just hold it tight and pull in your... And I know you can't see because my thumb's in the way. I've twisted it. trying to keep things flat. Besides there. And that's a ring. And so as I want to do other things, like that loop was a bigger loop and it had the 3 picots right here at the top. Plus, I don't know if you can see, there's a picot right here. And that's how you connect your loops. Knots you put in between the picots determines how big your ring will be. So this was a ring of 4 picot, 4 large picot, 4 small picot, and then 4. Then it closes the ring. The next one, we'll do this just enough to kind of show. And so you snug your next one right up to the base of the first ring made. I think I'll do 6 on this one, just should be 4. Yes, that's what the little hook on your shuttle is for. So the first part of this step is you pull it up, pull it up through and pass your shuttle through. And then that's the last step of the knot. And that makes a connection there. So I went through that picot, tied it into the round I'm doing here. But when first learning it, of course, you're thinking and popping, and then you just get going pretty smoothly. That's 3. Sometimes you make a huge boo-boo and it doesn't, like if your picot's in the wrong place, if you've connected to a picot, like say if you catch it right away, undoing 1 or 2 knots is easy, but undoing a ring is pretty difficult. Once you've tightened that thread, it's pretty permanent.
So when you're pausing, you put your work down. You don't have to worry about it coming
It doesn't
loose.
come loose. Nope. Some shuttles are more comfortable than others.
Do you have more than one shuttle?
I have a lot of shuttles. Like I said, that's a metal one. And oh, I don't know. This one you just wrap it around the shuttle. This one has a bobbin that you actually, this is a fairly new one, it's stiff. This one has a little hook on the end. That one's just got a pick.
And remind me what the hook and pick.
So this is what you grab your thread through the hold of your picot to pass the shuttle through. So you make the loop with that or the pick. So here's my working circle. Well, let me show you how to do a chain. I'm not quite sure how to incorporate it in this, but let's finish this right here. Actually, that can be a chain. And a chain is just a series of of the stitches. Do another. Okay, so this is the end of my chain. You snug it up. It will do arches. It will, but you want it tight, so all your stitches will stay together as you do your project, so they don't have pieces of thread in between. Close this ring. Okay, it's hard to see because I've got everything just held tight in my fingers as I pull this closed, so the stitches don't twist on me. But then from here, I could do a chain.
I repeated what you've done already.
I'd have to add a ball to be able to do the, so that one had a shuttle, and then these outside chains are balls from a ball. I just tie in another thread. So I tie it onto this first one. Right here. And then take my chain.
So now you're not working with the shuttle, you're just working with this.
I'm still going to use the shuttle, but the thread I'm going to be working over is from the ball. Right there we go. And same thing, I snug the ball thread up to where I want it to be. I really am fumble fingers today. I'm nervous, I guess. There we go. Okay, I'm going to work the same stitches, but it'll be on the ball thread. So rather than okay, I'm very nervous. Okay. And there I've got my shuttle thread and my ball thread. I'm going to try and connect them together. I've got this other thread I need to. Once you get started, things go better, but there we go. There we go. Okay, we're going to do this chain here and then turn. Okay, that's all the chain I'm going to do. Then I'll switch back over to this thread. Drop that thread.
The ball thread?
The ball thread. Now I'm working back again on the shuttle thread. And we'll do 2 rings, I guess.
Do you follow patterns or do you?
Yes, I do. I don't make up my own. This one I'm making up my own, and it's not. Have no clue where it's going. So yeah, patterns are a big help. Usually I tried to do some Easter eggs with the tatting on the top and the bottom. And like I said, it's put away. Going to be really hard to dig it out. But it did turn out okay. My sister sent me some photos from Germany, and I guess there's a lot of tatting. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably want to do it the same as this one. I think there was 6. So it was fun to try just off the picture to see if I could copy it. 5, one more.